Hello everyone, Coach Carole with you today. I am continuing to revamp my genealogy projects with the help of my ultimate AI squad. And today's tutorial is where AI meets Trello. Let me share with you my process where we go back to the beginning to help ourselves become better researchers with a fully fleshed out research plan. My first step today was using Claude, one of my favorite AI squad members, and the task was for it to write a checklist of 10 steps to plan a family history research project. Now, I'm aiming this at intermediate genealogists with basic research skills, and I've asked Claude to limit the response to 250 words and to include links to tools and websites that can be used for the research. This is what it came up with in the 10-step checklist, which is a standard one that you'll probably recognise from many others who have been down this particular journey. Step 1, define your research goal. Step 2, create a research plan using tools like Trello or Airtable. Then gather your existing information, organise the data, identify any gaps in your information, select your appropriate online databases. Where possible, plan visits to relevant archives or libraries, or those websites online if you are unable to visit archives physically. Set up a system for citing your sources using Zotero. That's another story and another video. Establish a timeline for your project using your Google Calendar or some other method for making it a smart plan, which is time-bound. And 10, join online communities like Family Search Community for support and advice. And then, of course, a review and adjust your plan as necessary. So that was a really good start. And I wanted to turn that into something that I could use on my Trello board as an actual research plan. So my next step was to take that 10-step research checklist over to another of my AI squad tools. And that is GPT 4.0 with Canvas. Now, this is the latest version of GPT 4.0 that you can have access to if you've got a subscription. I'm really enjoying the use of this version because it creates documents that I can use and edit as I go. So what I've asked Canvas to do was to take my original 10-step checklist, which I had converted into a document, and to analyse it and suggest improvements. And it came up with a set of improvements from clarify and expand on each step, organise the checklist for readability, enrich the content with tips and better practices, include visual elements, focus on flexibility and iteration, improve accessibility and usability, and finally, community involvement. And with those improvements, the checklist can become more actionable and easier to navigate. And the next step for me was to convert this into something even more usable for me. So what I've asked Omni to do now is to recreate the 10-step checklist, including these improvements. And so it came up with this new document. And in Canvas, anytime it creates the document, you click into it, and that document appears on the right-hand side. And on the left-hand navigation bar is where your prompts belong. scroll down, match it up here. So this is what we're looking at, the Enhanced Family Research GPT instructions. So it has done exactly what I've asked it to do. It's expanded it, it's made it more actionable, and given it even more details. And it's done that very, very quickly. So it now has a purpose. It shows us the functionality and key features, and then goes into those 10 steps again with even more details. What I would not like it to do next is to allow me to create a GPT based on that information. So in other words, my own chatbot that focuses directly on being able to create a research plan. So from this step, I went over to create my own GPT. So I will go to the sidebar again. And on the left-hand side are the GPTs that I've created in the past. And the newest one is down here. And it's called the Enhanced Family Research Planner. And it's based on the information given here in this document called Enhanced Family Research. So I click into that GPT. You'll see it here, and you can make use of it. I'll put the link to it below the video. It's available in the GPT store now, and it has its own particular purpose, which is to help intermediate genealogists to define clear research objectives, plan and manage their research using various tools, organise collected data efficiently, navigate different sources, and get advice and support from online genealogy communities. And below are some standard type of prompts that you can use straight away. So what I did for my next step was to interrogate this GPT to come up with a plan for my research. Pop over here and find it and scroll to the top. So at the top you can see I have used the Enhanced Family Research Planner. My prompt was, how can I set a clear and specific research objective, such as tracing a particular ancestral line over a specified time period and location? So the GPT has come back with this response. Again, nothing brand new in this. It's things that we already know as intermediate genealogists. But it has given me a bit of a case study in this one so that we can follow it as if we were tracing the Wright family lineage. And the Wright family is one of the family groups in my own ancestry. So it's now giving me some specifics for doing that thing, tracing a particular ancestral line over a specified time period and location. So what I wanted to do then to help me fulfill that plan was to use my Trello board and to have this GPT plan the Trello board with me and for me. So my next prompt was create a Trello board outline to trace this family lineage. And it's in Surrey, England from 1800 to 1900, and give me suitable list titles and sets of cards for each list. Now, the words list and cards may be foreign to you if you're not a Trello user, but they'll become clearer as I show you the example that I've come up with. So GPT, the Enhanced Family Research Planner, has now given me a suggested Trello board outline. It's given it a title, Wright Family Lineage. And then it tells me what lists I should include on the board. And it's given me 9 of those altogether, I think. And within the lists, these names and descriptions of cards that I would use to help with the process in launching this research plan. The very first thing is that we will define our research objective in that card. And in the next card, we will set our project milestones. And in the next card, we'll create a timeline. So those are tasks that are going to be set on my Trello board in cards inside lists. I'll show you that now. Over here, just to get you started. So here are the lists that I have created based on the information that Chat GPT gave me. And the first list is called a research plan. And here are those first 3 cards. So I'm going to define a research objective, set project milestones, and create a timeline. So coming back now to our response from chat, the next list was to include existing information, which could be listed in cards where we've interviewed family members, another card where we've gathered existing family documents, and another where we have some known family stories. So you'll see the process is quite simple. It's just telling me what I'm going to call the lists and what cards I need to place within them. List 3 is all about the record, so it includes birth, marriage, death, census, and immigration and migration records. And so it goes. List 4 is all about the online research resources. And of course, you can add or delete according to your favourite research resources. This one is about the visits that you might have to archives and libraries. Another list will help you organise and document your findings. The next one will help you identify gaps and the next steps you should take to fill the gaps. The next one will help you with your family connections and community. And the next will be your research progress tracker. I varied this one in my Trello board. You'll see why in a moment. Right at the end, my GPT has suggested that this Trello board will help you stay organised, track progress, and ensure nothing is missed during your research on the Wright family in Surrey. So when you do something similar, you would put in the name of the family, the place, and the time that you're researching, so that your plan can become personalised just like this one. So coming back over to the Trello board now, we can see those extra lists on the right-hand side. From the research plan to existing information, the records to find, the online research resources, organising and documenting findings, identifying gaps and next steps, family connections and community, archive and library visits, and I've added one more at the end, the brick walls, the one that often we stumble over in our research. Now, right at the beginning of this Trello board, I've also added a couple of lists with some instructions on how to use it, some ideas for indexing, for ancestral records and coding. And here on this one, I've added in the entire response from my GPT about the Trello board itself. So it simply repeats everything that was on the GPT document that it created, and I've added it here to this card so that anyone using this Trello board template can see how it was developed and what it contains. That's all inside the card. So something is waiting for changes there. I'll come back to that. Inside the card, called in the research Trello board description. In the next little card, we have our research goals, which is to formulate a precise goal for your research. And this can include finding specific types of records, birth, marriage, death, or census. And below that, your research objectives, basically taken from the information given to me by my AI assistants, and that describes how you will go about your research plan. Number 1, identify the surname and family line. 2, specify the time period. 3, pinpoint the location. And 4, set a clear goal. And this is the example that this one's based on. Trace the Wright family lineage in Surrey, England from 1800 to 1900, focusing on finding birth, marriage, and death records to verify family stories about migration to Australia. And you can put pictures as covers on any of your cards as you desire. There are also, scroll down a little bit further, sample card templates like this one. When you click into it, you can see that it has some instructions about how to create individual ancestor cards from the template. And it contains 2 checklists. Very handy when you're doing your research for your ancestor. So primary records and secondary records. You can alter those if you wish. But the important part here is that I can create a card from this template and put it in one of my lists here on the board. So we'll call it Ancestor Guide, Ancestor Cards Sample. And it's now going to go into a different list. I'm currently in the research list, but I want it to go into my existing information list. And that's all I need to do, create the card. So it leaves me inside this Ancestors card sample, which contains the checklists that I need. When I come out of that, you'll see that it's now sitting in the existing information list. So some automations and templates within this board really make the progress swift, easy, and visually appealing as you progress through your research plan. So it's a neat way to involve, in my case, my AI squad of assistants with my favorite planning tool, Trello. I hope that you can simulate this for yourself, or at least have some fun in developing your own Trello board to help you with your research plan.